It's the weekend.
Warriors.
Warriors coming to play.
Yeah, here we go.
Good Saturday morning, everybody. We're broadcasting live from the Weekend Warriors studios in beautiful Peoria, Arizona. I'm Ralph Romano. Alongside my partners in crime, we've got the legendary Philip Amorine, and we've got Mr. Luke Wright. And this is the Weekend Warriors.
And if you want to be joining Luke Wright and the rest of us here on the Weekend Warriors, I wanted to make a right and left pun, but then it devolved in my brain. Yeah,
I just became the headliner.
Yeah. So you became, we're just your side girls. Nice. But if you want to join us and be a part of the crew, the commenting crew, you can, of course, join us wherever you're watching us live, streamed live to you on YouTube, X, Facebook is not a thing right now. Instagram.
Yes, Facebook is a thing. Instagram. What is wrong with?
Gosh,
why is this always so hard?
I feel like it's not that difficult.
It is so hard. You know what? In our rundown, we need to just start listing that.
Do I need to put it in like bold print on your screen?
Yes, 100%. But
to remember the three places we stream live.
I'll put his
and then,
name
of course,
and then those. Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah, my name would help too. Yeah, sometimes I forget. Still up Amorine here for you. Thank you for joining us and comment wherever you're watching us live. And of course, if you're watching our clips on Instagram, you can comment there too if you so desire and want to be correct along with me. Thank you.
There we go.
If it's a really good comment, we'll kind of laugh at it to ourselves and never say anything about it.
We talk about it off screen. We don't give you the validation of thinking that we were actually a little hurt by what you said. But we will. We will say on the off things like, man, that was pretty funny. He called you a what? Yes, he did.
In the back of my mind, I'm sitting there going, how long will it take your buddy to make a compliment about you on this show?
Oh, well, there.
Will it be in the first 5 minutes?
Possibly. Hey, you know what?
Oh, I thought I saw one. No, I didn't.
That would have been good.
That would have been quite good, Tanner.
Yeah. I thought
Hey,
for sure.
you know what? It's good to have supportive friends.
I guess. It's good to have friends, I guess. Anyway, let's look to today. We got some good stuff. We got the Final Four, obviously, we're going to talk about. So we're going to get into that. Women's and men's.
Well, women's, they're at the finals now.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about how they got there. And then, well, at least one thing anyway.
Yeah.
Then we have a segment of Before Your Time where I'm going to take you guys back to 1976. Ooh. And then we have some NFL. We're going to talk Kirk Cousins. We're going to talk a little Puka craziness. We'll have the right value pick, of course. We're going to do some NBA. We're going to do a little bit about Luka and maybe a couple other things. And then we got a ton of MLB. So we're going to talk about the challenge system and some other things. It's going to be, this is some good stuff. We'll get through this. We will get through this, but we are going to start
making the show sound like a rehab for alcoholics.
Like, don't worry, everybody. We're going to get through this together.
I feel like Puka right now. I just don't know what tomorrow brings.
Wow. That's so good. Gosh darn it.
All right. Well, why don't we start in the NCAA? Why don't we talk about the...
You know what? I now realize this is why he said we're going to get through this, because we have to talk about women's sports. There we go. That's a.
It does make it hard because that's an oxymoron. That's like water and oil, women and sports. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. So, do we want to start with the women's, or do we want to talk?
We want to do whatever you want to do.
Fantastic. Why don't we talk about the men's Final Four, since that's where we'll be happening later today. We will decide the final two teams. I think it would be, obviously we have Michigan, we have Arizona, we have Illinois. Some of those are. I think all of those were favored to represent their portion of the Final Four. UConn beat Duke in a meltdown of the ages.
Lucky shot.
Sure. I think, though, the fact that they still came down from, what was it, 19? I know at like halftime it was like 15 points, but the largest lead over was 19 points. Is that correct, Luke?
I believe it was either 19 or 17. It was a lot.
And
it should have been enough.
I think there are a few joys, and Ralph, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. There are a few joys in this life that sports fans can meet at the fireplace, can meet over the water cooler, can enjoy together, quite like whenever Duke not only loses, but when they choke. Because that's what happened here. Duke choked away an appearance, at least in the Final Four, possibly an appearance in the finals, because I don't know about how Luke will feel about this, but I do not think Illinois will represent themselves well, even against UConn. But that's neither here nor there for this specific conversation. They choked away an appearance in the finals and possibly a chance overall at winning everything and ending Duke's long-standing drought now in winning a championship. And back-to-back double-digit leads lost in the men's bracket. Duke, it just brings me so much joy to just lap up their tears as they collapse, as they just fumble the game away. There are many options, Ralph, that they could have done instead of the ones that they did and turnover right there as the game was slipping through their fingers. They gave the ball over from their fingers to the other team, and UConn made, to your point, a lucky shot. And now UConn's representing in the Final Four.
Why do you hate Duke so much?
Who doesn't hate Duke? I think part of the reason why everybody doesn't like Duke, except for Tanner, you're our number one.
My
supporter.
father is also a
Big
Duke
Dookie?
fan. Yeah, big Dookie.
Big
Dookie.
Big Dookie.
I think part of what makes it hard to make Duke a lovable winner, there are some, but certainly not Duke. I think what it is the pretentiousness that they carry themselves with, where it's like, we got Daniel Jones. We know that he's going to get paid up there in football. Like, for basketball, we got JJ Redick over there in Lakerland. They just let you know so casually with such a smugness that they represent well and that they're smart and that they're like the one team that is a favorite.
So they're arrogant.
They're arrogant.
They used to be a great program.
They used to with Mike Krzyzewski.
Yeah, I mean, when he was there back in his day, they were a great program. Not anymore.
I mean, they made it to an Elite Eight. They almost made it to.
They're still good, but they're not what they were.
Well, I think we're kind of reaching an era, and everyone thought NIL would do the opposite of what I think it is doing, and we're reaching an era of a lot of parity. It is no longer is Duke going to win it? Is UNC going to win it? Is Kentucky going to win it? Like, it's no longer a blue blood exclusive club. We have Arizona. I know that one is a little. I know Arizona fans like to consider themselves a blue blood program. I'm not sure if I would put them in that category.
They're kind of like the Oregon of NCAA men's football to what basketball is, where they're new blue blood.
They've won titles. Like,
yeah,
they're more. I put
Arizona.
them above Oregon, but below a traditional.
They had their period in time where they were very good.
Yes,
and it's been a hit or miss ever since.
Yes,
and this is a hit year.
And Michigan, kind of along the same bands. I don't know if I'd consider Michigan a true blue blood program in basketball.
I wouldn't. They had that one period with that one Fab Five. And that was it.
Illinois they still didn't win.
Yeah, I don't think Illinois is a blue blood by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
And UConn
is a modern day blue blood.
I'll give it to UConn, but I mean that's 1.5 blue bloods out of the Final Four. I think we're like reaching a point where with NIL and just the general nature of the landscape of college athletics, we're reaching a point where we don't have to, like you talked about a Duke drought of a championship. When do we ever talk about like teams having droughts unless it's 40 or 50 years? Like that's, you had to reach a pretty high level to get to the point where, hey, it's been 10 years, 15 years, it's a drought.
Yeah, I think it depends on the team, right?
Yeah, and I think
that the Patriots fan right now, if they're in the middle of a drought, they'd probably say yes.
Yeah, I think they would, especially after last year.
It depends on what the standard is, honestly. And I think Duke, to its credit, has elevated its standard to championships, or the season feels like a letdown.
Yeah, and I think I understand why this feels like a letdown for them. They had it. They literally had it. They had the lead. They had the lead late.
They only lost the lead in 2 points both at the beginning of the game where they were down 2-0, and then at the last 4 seconds of the game. Was it 4.4?
Something like that. Yeah. But it's truly amazing. I mean, they got Boozer was named Player of the Year, fifth freshman to ever do it. The program itself is in good shape. Like they're still winning. They're still making deep runs. This wasn't even like the best Duke team, and they still got a 1 seed, and they still made it to the Elite Eight, and they were 5 seconds away from making a Final Four. So I think that this has been a very fun competitive tournament. I think we're going to have 2 competitive games. I do think UConn will win. And I do think they're
win their specific matchup against Illinois.
Correct.
Yeah.
UConn will make it to the title game, and I think they're going to play Arizona.
Well, that's not what Blissful Hayes says. He says, "Hello, Weekend Warriors. Let's go Fighting Illini."
Well,
you're just against Blissful Hayes. You're anti-Blissful Hayes in this situation.
In this situation, I think that
I think
Illinois should be happy to be here.
This man buys us drinks when we're at remotes, and you're against him.
Illinois should be happy that
doesn't buy
Florida
me a
lost
drink.
early. I will say Michigan Arizona feels like the title game. Yes, like that is the game where winner takes all. Right, like the next game will be a formality. UConn maybe on pedigree and tenacity and everything. It may be able to give whoever comes out of the Michigan Arizona game a fight. But I feel like, especially depending on seeing as how Arizona and Michigan have not found themselves up against stiff competition in their own quadrant. I think that if they are able to overcome a behemoth that they find in each other, that they will feel like they have figured it out, that they have stabilized as far as their talent volatility, and that going up against a UConn who is highly disciplined, highly stylized, highly persistent, I don't think that that's enough to overcome the talent deficit, and that is represented in either Arizona or Michigan.
Yeah.
I like Arizona to win it all.
I'd agree. I think
again the greatest challenge that I think that they face is Michigan. Right in front of them.
Yeah, and I think
they're one of the few programs both in men's basketball, let alone possibly even the NBA, where big guys are setting screens for big guys. Like they have size across the starting five.
Well, and size matters, so I think it's important.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Size is important.
So I think I'm a Michigan man. They are the champion in my own personal bracket. I've touted this since the beginning. At least for this year, whatever. UConn will more than likely represent in the finals, but I think that they will come short. Michigan, Arizona, though, can't wait to watch. Good game.
So you're picking Michigan to win it all.
Michigan to win it all. You both are picking Arizona.
I'm picking Arizona to win it all.
I'm picking Arizona, but I think UConn will have some value.
Oh God,
I think you'll have some value.
They will certainly,
because you're a value guy.
Yeah,
they will be getting, no matter who they face in the finals, they will be getting probably 4.5 points.
Well, you called UConn last week as having value. You did say
very true.
That was one of your picks that we didn't
very
post.
True.
That is very yes. I said that there's no way that they'd win. And
Tesla's Travelers and Stop says UConn will win it.
You probably get some good value on betting that right now.
Yeah,
if you bet UConn to win the tournament right now, it's probably some pretty good value.
Speaking of pretty good value, had you bet it prior to the game's tip-off, where there's some consternation, the South Carolina Gamecocks and UConn Huskies, the women's.
Oh, we're switching to female now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I wanted to make sure I know what we're talking about.
You would have been able to find some value at the plus 600 Gamecocks to beat the UConn Huskies, who were heavily favored, who certainly had a talent edge, but it was the systematic demolition that the Gamecocks provide, that Dawn Staley, that for some reason Ralph hates America, as she is the women's Olympic head coach for the basketball team. And
I hate America. Why?
Because she is a representative of our Olympic gold medalists that we send abroad. And
I don't like her personally for some of the things that she's said and done, but other than that, I'm go America, just not Dawn Staley. And she proved that again yesterday. I guess there was an issue there with her and the coach from UConn.
So the Gamecocks win, and in a post-game kerfuffle, we have found out that Gino Auriemma has finally gone to the last arc of the Old Man from Up, which nobody gets to see. It's the possible just craziness that finds old people. I stuttered to get to dementia, but what have you, where he is making up things and stories that are going on in his own head. And I don't know if it's justification to the world that somehow he has forgotten that there are cameras around, especially in a Final Four game, especially in a dynastic approach to a tournament game, that in his post-game exit interview, Gino has stated that, I've been to like 75 Final Four games. I've been in countless things. And what you do, it's traditional. You go before the game and you go and you meet at half court and then you shake hands. And I waited there. I stood there for 3 minutes and Don wasn't there to shake my hand. So at some point I got to leave. You all saw it. You all saw the game. And he was right. We all saw it. We all saw both of them meet and go in a line And Don Staley shook his hand just as well as everybody else on that UConn coaching lineup.
Yeah.
Up pregame. And was it a hug? Was it like as if they were family meeting together? No, I suppose not. It was quick, but it certainly was there. And when he came to her post game to come to her to grips and to air his gripes with her for not shaking his hand prior to the game, as his beloved Huskies were losing by double digits to the Gamecocks, and it was all but set that his much favored UConn Huskies were supposed to move on. He just wasn't able to handle it and blamed Don Staley for not shaking his hand. Look, I don't care. I don't particularly care that that you lost in a game that you were heavily favored to win. Don Staley is a Hall of Fame worthy coach. I think she will be enshrined, will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm not entirely sure where eligibility meets for active coaches. Doc Rivers just got inducted today for the NBA Hall of Fame, and he's still current coach, so it's kind of murky on where that happens.
Really?
But he just got inducted. How do you
get inducted before you retire?
I think maybe happens as a player.
I think it's as a coach. I think he's going as a coach. I'm not entirely sure. I know that he got. I don't know if he's officially inducted. It came out that
nominated.
No. He is for sure going in. I don't know if he's been inducted.
It's got to be a player. Anyway,
but in either way, I'm not sure how that all works, but she will certainly be on a first ballot status with what she's accomplished, especially down there in a non-traditional blue blood now. That is the South Carolina basketball program.
I mean, I'm shocked that they even have a Hall of Fame for women's college basketball.
Well, that's because they don't. They have it as a general basketball thing.
Oh, okay. So it's not separate. It's not segregated.
It's not. No, it's not gender.
Okay, that's good.
But
are you gonna mention Staley being caught saying "I will beat Gino's ass"?
And I believe it.
Of course, he's not going to mention that.
Well, yeah. It's just funny that he was so mad because she didn't shake my hand. I think it was the physical threats of violence that might have upset him.
She does no handshake.
She does no wrong.
Huh? It was post to him. She was making those comments after the handshake went awry. That she was saying, "I will beat him up."
I guess, but you don't think that she was saying other things before that?
No,
I mean, you actually think that this entire thing was just because,
of course,
because Gino's losing it.
Yeah,
because he's an old man.
It meets his narrative. Of course,
that's fair. Yeah. I mean,
look,
it feels weird to feel like that we're blaming Gino. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they're both in the wrong here, but
I will say it is. I recognize that Dawn does not have the best PR, where she comes across as a bit aggressive. She comes across as a person who is very, very stout in both stature and personality.
Wow.
Yeah,
she's stout.
Very stout, very rigid.
I would ask you to define that, but not right now.
Right. But
it's a type of beer, I think.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. No, you can be stout and very stoic.
It's a dark beer too, isn't it?
It is.
I don't know. I don't drink beer.
But that being said, that still doesn't excuse. I mean, when Gino's here and she's there have been clippings. Let me tell you, there's been wall-to-wall coverage of this. So I've wall to wall. You've got
my wall is empty. I haven't seen.
Yeah, you've gone all perspectives on this as far as the video goes, and from the lip readers and from my own interpretation, you can see her clearly stating I shook your hand. I shook your hand. So yes, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt that in the moment she was emotionally charged by the fact that Gino necessitated some sort of response that do I think she necessarily
can we just say the truth away? Can we stop with all the BS? Can we just say the truth, right?
What is the truth?
He's pissed off they lost. They were undefeated, right?
Yes.
So, and we know he's probably a dick, okay? And he's pissed off and he took it hard. She's no innocent at all. She's an absolute tool and she has a filthy mouth and she says a lot of bad crap all the time to people. She's an instigator. So they're both as bad as each other. There's no innocent victim here. This is ridiculous. So I know you tried to take that route because that's what you do. Take your MSNBC button off. But the reality is they're both bad here. They both did something wrong. You know, she was talking crap on the sidelines. I would have been talking crap on the sidelines as a coach if you're beating a 38-0 team. You would have done it. You would have done it, right?
I'm not a sore winner. So
in the moment, you might have had something to say, especially if he was sitting there saying stuff because, you know, he's probably a dick too. So I'm just saying there's no innocent person here. It happened. It was a good story, but come on. It was the only thing that made the women's Final Four relevant this weekend.
The women's bracket in particular has just been absolute blowouts. Like the closest game we got. Yeah, it's been a real snoozer. We now have a final of the South Carolina Gamecocks against the UCLA Bruins.
First time ever Bruins are in the title.
Yeah, and the Bruins they had an ugly, close, ugly game that led to their entry to the finals. But that being said, it's just been a story of blowouts. So I agree. This was a team that underperformed. This was supposed to be the overwhelming wave of talent that UConn was able to present, and they fell to a systematic approach by the Gamecocks, led by Dawn Staley, who has turned her team around from where they were earlier in the year. And so all the credit goes to her. I do think she serves as something of an agitator.
Nothing to the players. No credit to the players.
No, the players are good. Obviously,
they're just there.
Yeah, they're just.
This is a pure coach's battle.
Look, she's a great coach.
She is.
I won't argue that. No matter how I feel about her personally, she's a great coach. She wins. I respect the heck out of that. So I'm with you on that, dude. I'm going to give it to you. But I think I agree with you. This has been a snoozer women's tournament. This may be the best game in the final.
Oh, I think we're going to find that.
Because the two best teams aren't in it.
Yeah. I think that we're going to find that the championships were determined in the Final Four for both brackets, where this Gamecocks UConn game was going to determine who the champion was, as well as in the men's, it will be Michigan versus the Arizona Wildcats.
Wow. And we have our only women's fan online that says, Dominic says, UCLA women will win it. And that's because he's a UCLA.
I was going to say,
he's a total UCLA homer. He loves UCLA. And whenever you get to a title game with your UCLA fan, you just pray, because since Lou Alcindor, they haven't done much.
I mean,
wow.
That's going back.
Wow.
Right?
You're not wrong.
That's going back. So
I'm trying to find the current lineup.
Oh, you're doing that. I'll catch up on that text. So Blissful Hayes says Doc Rivers wasn't nearly good enough to be inducted into the Hall of Fame as a player, which I agree with that.
Well,
I agree.
Not as a player, certainly not.
No,
and
but
I would argue, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but to be known as the coach who has lost the most amount of Game 7s in NBA history, I'll go out on that ledge. I think that kind of disqualifies you from being a Hall of Fame coach.
He also, I believe,
right.
He's also, I believe, blown multiple 3-1 leads.
Yes.
Multiple.
Yes, he's like he is it's not a volume stat. Like Brett Favre owns a lot of bad stats in the NFL simply because of volume, right? Like he's had just the most amount of games, and plus his style didn't certainly help either. So you have the Iron Man record that correlates to a lot of negative stats. That's kind of its own thing. Doc Rivers has earned his negative achievements. My goodness. And you look at these teams, and I very rarely see it there's a team that he elevated beyond its talent level. They perpetually underperformed. So I guess just as a mainstay, just as a name, he has a lot of name recognition. Hall of Fame coach?
Yeah, I'm not with that one.
Seems real questionable.
Really questionable. Does he even have a Coach of the Year award? I mean, what?
So we've touched a couple nerves.
Yes.
Or let's say I'd have. Tanner, your famous support cast person, your pigeons on the, I call him your pigeon, your parrot's on the line, says, don't discredit Bill Walton, R.I.P. I wouldn't discredit that pot smoking hippie. I liked his style of play. So you're right. They were good when he was there, but he was there. Wasn't he there with Kareem at one point, or was it after Kareem?
That was after.
Pretty sure
it was right close though, right?
Yeah. No, Bill Walton was a unit, man.
He was a unit, all right.
Oh,
and then Dominic's on there saying, "Where's USC? Home?" Yeah, so he knows I'm a USC guy. He's got me there.
I forgot. Doc Rivers did win NBA Coach of the Year once. He won it with the Magic.
Was it in you?
With the Magic.
Yeah, that was again another year that ended in a 3-1 loss.
Tanner also, we had missed this, says need experience deep in the tournament. Go UConn. So,
all right, fair enough.
I guess he's just bitter that his Duke team lost, but he did say they were going to lose.
I mean, he did, but also, I mean, that is something UConn does have going for it. They've won 2 out of the last 3. They have multiple members on that team who were on at least one of those championship wins. So they do have the experience on their side.
You know, I will give you, I can't remember which one of you made the point. I think it was you. The NIL has changed this tournament. It's changed college sports, obviously, right? But there's so much parity now. I mean, we were just getting off talking about our BCS championship with Indiana, right? Now here we are talking about, this tournament and what it's done. I mean, as far as parity, I don't think anyone, to your point, thought that was going to be the result. I think people thought that it was just a way of paying these guys and the rich would just get richer. And that hasn't happened.
I personally, I did kind of think that this was going to happen because I think that there's always going to be those times where you have great players who fall in between the cracks. Mm-hmm. You're always going to have that. Sure. And I think now you're in a situation, basketball is impacted by this more so than football, for example. But once, if you're a medium-sized school, you can put together at least one good NIL contract.
Yeah.
So if you find that diamond in the rough in basketball, and you don't have to pay all of your players tons of money, you just have to put one really good proposal to this one guy, and you already have them. You've already said, hey, I've already believed in you and trusted you. That team suddenly can go from 16th seed because they had one decent year to a top, 9 or 10 seed and make a good run in the tournament. Yeah. And in football, same thing. If you're a Texas Tech's probably the best example of it.
Oh, definitely.
You have that oil money. You can just start spending.
It's so true.
And so now it's like, why would I want to go be the second or third string Alabama player who doesn't even have Nick Saban, so I'm not even guaranteed to win championships anymore? Or I can go get paid. I can be a star at Texas Tech, and I can probably have a better shot at making it to the next level because I'm going to get more visibility.
I mean, it's probably fair to say that Indiana's rise, a big part of it was Mark Cuban. He donated quite a bit of money to Indiana to help them do this.
They were able to acquire a fair amount of talent, but I mean, also keep in mind that Fernando Mendoza was not a touted number one.
No, he was a below average guy.
Yeah, he was just seen as a guy who happened to be a walk-on for UCLA, was it?
No, it was Cal, I think.
It was Cal, yeah, that's right. I was like, which California?
So nobody really even wanted him.
No, nobody wanted him. Nobody knew about him.
So that was a surprise.
Yes, but and there were other. I mean, obviously, other talent has risen to the top due to their prosperity.
And great coaching.
And fantastic. Rich Signetti, Mr. Looks like the stepdad that tells you before he walks, as he walks in the door, like, hey, your doorknob's loose. Like, he's over there. that guy.
I'm not sure I'd let him in my house.
Yeah. There we go. I think for all the good that NIL has done and brought to the sport, I think conference realignment has really damaged the sport. But that's another talk for another day.
I would agree with that. But yeah, we can save that in our back pocket.
Absolutely. I think it's time. And when I say time, I mean it's a time for before your time.
Back when coaches yelled and nobody needed therapy after. Back when fans argued in bars, not comment sections. Back when Phil's biggest decision was juice box or nap time. Back when Luke's bedtime was halftime. Back when men were men and elbows were legal. This is education. This is before your time.
I love this segment because this gives you guys a chance to experience real moments that you couldn't be a part of because you just weren't born yet.
I do love the intro because it is, I do remember, I have one memory of, I had to go to sleep at halftime of the first Giants upset of the Patriots during halftime because it was so late.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Did you ever get that? I did have one.
No, my parents love me. They let me stay up and watch the Super Bowl.
That's fantastic.
So I went with an NCAA tourney theme. Okay. All right. So we're going to go back to 1976. This is what?
Was that
20 years before you were born?
Declaration of Independence was drafted?
Yes.
19.
You were 19?
Yeah, 19 years before I was born.
And how long?
17.
17. So this is a good time before you guys were born.
I'm older than you.
Are you?
Wow, they're learning.
2 years?
They're learning new things.
Oh,
isn't this nice? They've even lived together.
Oh, wow, you are old.
These things. I was 10, but I remember this. Oh, here we go. I got a little thing for you to listen to. Here we go.
In 1976, you have this special season. You have this unbelievable team. You're undefeated. And you end up in the national championship game. You're down by 6 at the half to Michigan. What did you say to that group at halftime?
You don't want to hear what I said.
Oh, yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
My mother would
my
mother would be embarrassed.
So you lit them up at halftime.
No, I went in. I said, you guys ought to be grateful that we're playing for 40 minutes. And I said, because we've got 20 minutes left to win this game. I said, how many of you think we've played well? Because they knew we didn't play very well. And Michigan played well in the first half. And I said, if you'll listen, we're going to win this game. And I said, if you don't, we're going to get our ass beat. It's that simple. You've got two choices here. So I remember that I didn't scream and raise hell and chew guys out. Now, I've done that on occasion. I've been that route, probably maybe a few times too often. But I went in and I was explained very quietly what we had to do.
Indiana opens a half, 6 points down. Over to Ken Benson underneath. He got a lucky rebound on that. Hubbard's shot no good. Got May up there for the rebound. Oh, God, Ken Benson shot May inside. And we've got a tie game. And now Indiana's taking control. Runners May to Benson. He's got it. 10-point lead into Abernathy. Hits
It's interesting. Michigan has not had one fast break field goal the second half.
Down to Wayne Radford. 1 second.
What son of a bitch should have called a foul right there.
The basket is good. And Indiana, with a tremendous second half, is the national champion.
86-68, I think it said.
So were you guys aware of this team? The 1976 Indiana Hoosiers, the only undefeated team ever to win a national championship?
I remember that mid-movie.
That was Gene Hackman, right?
That was the Hoosiers movie. That's not this team. Did you guys not know this?
No.
Really?
I did not.
I barely remember the movie, so no, I don't.
This is not the movie.
Yes, I get it.
This is the only undefeated team to win a national championship in the NCAA.
That seems crazy.
I remember
50 years.
The Gonzaga Bulldogs of a few years ago. Was it 5 years now? Jeez, wow. Were going after that record. So that's the only reason why I knew that there was one other team. I could not have remembered that it was Indiana, though.
You remember Bobby Knight, right?
Yes.
I had to let him give it a little comment there. Bobby Knight was just awesome. He was a funny guy. He would never survive in today's world. Just not a chance.
Definitely not.
Throwing chairs at people. Yeah, we don't condone that.
Kind of hard to make it past HR.
Unless he was playing for the Dodgers. They're fine with putting people in comas. So
yeah, they are.
I'm sure throwing chairs wouldn't be a problem.
818's ready and willing.
So Indiana was 32-0. Michigan was 25-7. Indiana beat them 86-68. They were down by 6 at half. They just blew it out in the second half. The key thing that I want to make of why this was such a cool thing is Indiana really didn't have any superstars on that team. I think they only had one guy that was actually really had any kind of success in the pros. Actually, their number one overall pick at the NBA draft in 77 was Kent Benson that came from this team. And he had an okay career. Quinn Buckner was on, Quinn Buckner was on that team. Remember the name Quinn Buckner?
Quinn Buckner?
He was on that team. Yeah, you guys are young. Yeah, but anyway, there was no outstanding stars on this team, yet they were just a great team. Bobby Knight was a great coach. This is when he was obviously very young. Undefeated, 32-0, won the national championship. It was a great moment. I just wanted to share that because I wasn't sure if you guys knew about this or if you even remembered it. But apparently you had no clue.
Certainly not, no.
So you can go back and look this up. But this is one of the greatest teams ever in the NCAA college basketball.
Do they have video footage of that, or is it like one of those like projector things?
There's video footage in 76.
Okay.
Was there color?
It's Super 8 video.
Or black and white?
In 76, there was color.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
We're just trying to figure out.
I'm trying to share things with you guys. I'm trying to educate you on things that you missed.
Grandpa, we're asking questions. We're trying to figure out
taking an interest.
What 1976 was like.
What was it like back then when Benjamin Franklin was running around with a kite?
You guys are jerks.
Speaking of jerks, Raven Kids on the text line from X saying Ralph is a relic. Also saying Lonzo Ball wasn't on the team, so it couldn't be the best team ever.
Oh, wow. That's
true.
Do you guys at least remember Bobby Knight?
Yeah, I certainly remember Bobby Knight. I've seen that footage.
Yeah, we've seen Bobby Knight.
The footage I've seen of Bobby Knight, though, I'm not sure even Bobby Knight won.
I know Raven Kids never heard of this team, never seen this.
Certainly not, yeah.
I mean, he's like, I don't know, 22, 23. I mean,
maybe if he saw
he's a Raven fan. So.
Yeah, maybe if he saw the ESPN 30 for 30, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just, I guess the point I was making, besides sharing a great moment, was that I don't feel, especially, and you talked about perfectly with the NIL era that we're in now and the parity it's bringing, I don't think we'll ever see another undefeated champion in the NCAA basketball tournament at the end. I think it'd be very hard to accomplish.
Did we have anyone particularly close this year?
To what?
Yeah, I think you probably had a couple of 2-loss teams, didn't you, coming in?
Probably.
Well, in the obviously in the women's there was UConn, but in the men's, no. I mean, the closest would have been Arizona. Well, no.
Wasn't Gonzaga like a 2-loss team?
Duke had 3. Arizona had 2. Yeah, so like I think that's it. I don't think any Michigan had 3.
Yeah, so 2 or 3 is about what you'd seen. But
yeah,
think about, man, 36-0. That's pretty strong. That's not easy.
No, it's not easy. And I think that like as we continue to like go through this, it is just going to get harder. You're going to see talent get spread out more because they'd rather get paid a decent chunk to lead a team somewhere else than be a backup player who doesn't play for the first 2 to 3 years in football. In basketball, you just go where you can make the most money for a year and then go to the league.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Looking at the Boozer twins.
They need to change that rule. But anyway.
Yeah, they should just let them go straight out of high school.
I agree. I've always thought that the best compromise would be they can stay in. They have to stay in college for 2 years if they elect to go to college. But if they don't elect to go to college, they can go straight out.
The baseball way.
Yeah,
or basically baseball. I think baseball 3 years if you go to college.
Yeah. And Raven Kid's confirming your comment. He says, "I've seen it only because of the 30 for 30."
100%.
That the 30 for 30 was one of the best things that ESPN ever did.
Okay, so your guys' homework is I want you to go home and I want you to look this team up, and I just want you to appreciate it.
Man,
because I feel like you're not appreciating it.
This is what can happen. This is what you two can accomplish if you start spanking kids on the sideline.
Throwing chairs
on the court.
You too can accomplish this.
He was a great coach. He was a great coach.
Speaking of speaking of spanking the system, there we go.
That's how we're doing it.
Yeah, yes, so.
Kirk Cousins has signed and gone to the Raiders, and for some reason, Mr. Double R over there, Ralph Romano, is in love. He is infatuated. He says the Raiders have just landed themselves a generational franchise quarterback in the form of the first of 1A of Fernando Mendoza in Kirk Cousins. Hey, dweeb meet dork. My goodness.
This is a great move. The Raiders have impressed me so much this offseason. I know you guys, okay.
No,
so for context, I got two Bronco fans here.
I'm giving you the entire runway. You go off the rails.
I know you're going to agree with me. You're going to agree with me. So I'm going to focus. I'm going to focus in front of me. This Bronco fan he's blind and he just can't see. I mean, the Raiders have made just such fantastic moves this offseason. I'm so impressed with what they've done. And what does Kubiak do? He does exactly what he did in Seattle. He brings a guy in that he worked with in Minnesota that knows his offense, that can come right in and help run the offense that he's deploying in Vegas. This is such a good move. Not only that, but he brings a guy in so that he can go now, I think still, and draft Mendoza, which I'd be surprised if they still don't do that.
That'd be shocking if they didn't.
That would make it a bad move.
That would make it a bad move. So they still draft Mendoza, and they bring him in under a guy that's been there, done that, good and bad, and let him learn from Kirk Cousins. This is fantastic. This is everything we've been talking about with guys coming out of college and us saying they shouldn't start him right away. They need to have him sit. They need to have him learn. They have given Mendoza the ideal situation by bringing Cousins on. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is a 5-year, $172 million contract. This is crazy. He's locked in. No, it's only $20 million guaranteed. If you really look at it, it's basically a 1-year contract in a sense. It says 5 on the surface, but it's really
absurd.
a 1
The number
year.
around there just to really just put away the contract to make it more palatable for years to come when they inevitably cut him next year.
Probably, right?
Right.
Probably. But what a great move. If I'm Fernando Mendoza, I am thrilled. I just had all the pressure taken off me. I can go in there now and I can learn the system and I can learn the speed of the game and I can learn from a guy that's been there and done that for years. Man, that's just down the road. That makes me better. I love this move. This is a great move by the Raiders. I'll let you talk because you make sense.
I don't know if I'd say the Raiders have been making fantastic moves all offseason.
Why not?
But I
join the crowd.
But I would say that this is a very, very good move. This is I'm going to parrot some of what Ralph said here. You've taken the pressure off Mendoza. He does not need to come in day one, be a starter, get the heck beat out of him for the first 6 games, get hurt, fall behind because he got hurt. Like, we don't have to play that game. We can now put Kirk Cousins in. And by the way, this is not like Atlanta where they signed Kirk Cousins and then out of the blue, they're like, by the way, we're drafting your replacement 2 months from now. This time, Kirk Cousins 100% signed this contract with the knowledge you are going to come in, you're going to probably be the day one starter.
I was going to say, well, but before you continue, do you both agree that he's day one starter?
Yes.
I believe
what that money suggests.
Yes.
It's what it suggests, and it's also why I think that
it's a good
Cousins took that role, is because, hey, I can be a starter, I can try and prove value to either be traded to somewhere else midseason if someone else goes down, or they cut me in a year because Mendoza's proven it, and I can go try and squeeze out another year or two. So I think that this is a very good move. Mendoza is going to learn. I think Kirk Cousins is going to be more. I don't think he was I'm sure he wasn't like being a roadblock to Penix's development, but I don't think he was just mentally there to be a mentor. That was not what he was.
No, they undercutted him by drafting the guy.
And now I think he can come in here with the full knowledge of, I'm going to help this kid get better while also proving I still have a little bit left in the tank.
I'm making $20 million.
Exactly. And I think that it's a great move for the Raiders, as long as they commit to it. And as long as they don't wait, 2 games in and like, okay, Mendoza, go in. Like, I think that's going to be too soon.
I know Kubiak. That's not what he's going to do.
Yeah.
This had a purpose.
And we have Raven Kid saying, did we see what Cousins did the last time he played? He has a noodle arm. He was also still he was hurt his entire time in Atlanta. Like, he never was able to fully recover from any point. He dealt with the shoulder injury. He dealt with, he was still trying to come back from the ACL tear, I believe it was, or was it Achilles that when he left Minnesota? Either way, he was never fully healthy. And to be fair, he's old. He's been dealing with a lot of big injuries. That is still a legitimate concern. Maybe he does show up and maybe his shoulder just is never right again. I feel like they probably would have seen that in the physicals, but I also don't think they really need him to have a cannon of an arm this year. He's there to be a body and to be a mentor. He's there to show up, get beat up for 6 to 10 games, hand the torch off to Mendoza, hand the ball off to Janty, and that's it. That's all he's going to do.
To your point, you could pay me $20 million to go and take 18 games worth of hits. And that I do agree.
Yeah.
That is pretty nice. Kirk Cousins is certainly elite at making money. He now ranks number 2 overall in career earnings, second only to Matthew Stafford. Sneaky also elite at that, but just more subtle about it.
I think he was the last number 1 overall pick who had unlimited funds.
Matthew Stafford?
I believe so.
Yeah.
It was either him or Bradford. One of
yes,
the two.
Matthew Stafford was the last one to not. Oh, no, it was Bradford.
Was it Bradford?
Was the last quarterback under the old system where you could make money even as a number 1, as opposed to now it's all slotted. All right. Me and Raven Kid are like-minded here, guys. The only thing that Kirk Cousins is elite at is making money. If you look back at his, why would I want an injury-prone now at this point in time? Kirk Cousins, at a certain point, was certainly, all pun intended, a Mendoza line quarterback.
Wow.
To where if you had a quarterback better than Kirk Cousins, you had an elite quarterback. You had a quarterback worthy of leading your franchise. And if you had a quarterback worse than Kirk Cousins, you needed help. You needed, whether that's emotional, mental, or just in the roster construction, you needed help. He is no longer that. The reason why he has earned $20 million is because that is what he has placed most at the prime front part of his career. Not career success, not production. No, what he finds to be the thing that generates him and his motivations is money. It's financial motivation, and God bless him for doing so. I begrudge him not a single iota. Make all the money you can, especially in a physical sport like that. However, do you not think that the Atlanta Falcons had this exact same mindset, even when they pulled the rug out from underneath Kirk Cousins, that, he'd be a great mentor towards a pocket-centered minded quarterback in Michael Penix. He would be in the same mold. And do I think that somehow Kirk Cousins, old as he is, 38, and as he was never mobile to begin with, post tons of injuries, that he's somehow more mobile than Geno Smith? Sure, the Raiders went out and acquired the best center in the market, But now I'm going from the Titanic is sinking like a dead rock, like a hair in the shower drain, and is now all of a sudden going down only slightly faster. It is still a bad offensive line. You can't even you look at the Bears last year. They were a team that was plagued by bad offensive line play the year prior. And then last year, they finally only got it right around the mid to late portion of the season before they started to look like their
it took time for them to gel.
Exactly.
Of course.
And if I have the Kirk Cousins signing of it all, I'll be honest. I don't necessarily know that I want him for that money. I would have rather spent and allocated that $20 million that he's essentially guaranteed and going to be costing me. I would have had all that money go towards other portions of around my roster. I would have sent and gone there, as opposed to I could have had the exact same qualities and traits of a veteran mentorship be had in other quarterbacks that would have cost you far, far less. Kirk Cousins, I think, especially to be a day one starter, where I think he's at least best utilized as a backup, to have him be your starter. I think his number one useful purpose is to be a body bag. To be a body bag in place of Fernando Mendoza while that line happens. And if that's what you're paying $20 million for, I think you could have gotten that at a much cheaper rate to get and acquire a better roster overall.
$20 million is not a lot for a quarterback.
$20 million.
That's the lower end of the spectrum at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, again, did you see what Marcus Mariota? I keep going to Marcus Mariota. Come on, Marcus Mariota could be.
He's not a competitive. Winston. He's not a competitive piece to put back there. Winston's not a competitive piece to put back there.
I think could have offered you a lot.
He's going to throw 100 picks. He's not.
What do you think Kirk Cousins is going to do? He's going to throw soft picks to the other side of the field. He threw perfect passes to the opposition last time we saw him in Atlanta.
I will agree with what Luke said to a point and disagree with what you said. You said you're talking about the Falcons and what they had with Kirk Cousins. I think they gave him all that money, which I think was a mistake coming off an injury. Sure. And I think they had instant buyer's remorse. They went, holy moly, this guy might not be really able to give us what we thought he could. Somebody made a bad decision. So they went and they made another bad decision and they drafted Penix at 10 to try to fix that, who was a guy coming off of 2 major injuries in college. Yeah. I mean, that's just bad. Everything they did was just bad.
One bad decision.
In the process of that buyer's remorse, they just pissed off Kirk Cousins, who I think was still struggling last year to recover from this injury. It takes a while. And I don't think he was ever right at it. Really, maybe toward the very end of the year he was. And I think he's better than anything that they have in Atlanta right now, personally. That's just me. So to get him to come over for $20 million, a guy that knows the offensive scheme that you're going to run, they've added pieces. Not only did they add Linderbaum at center, but they added Spencer Burford. Was it Burford? Whatever. They added an interior offensive lineman. They added a guard. They'll probably add more during the draft. I mean, Kubiak knows what he's doing. He's not going to ask too much of Kirk Cousins as far as when it comes to throwing downfield with a noodle arm, if it's still a noodle arm. But he knows Kirk Cousins can command the offense and make them score. You're going to see, and what's his name? Raven Kid sitting there saying the Raiders have just been selling false promises off season. I absolutely disagree. I think if you look at everything the Raiders are doing, and I'm not a Raiders fan. If I was a Raider fan, I would be so happy this year seeing all the moves that my team has made, not only with changing the coach and the scheme he's bringing in, but all the other moves they've made so far. And then having this first pick in the draft, man, I'm excited as a Raider fan. They are going in the right direction for the first time since probably Al Davis. It's been that long. And you have to be excited. And this is a good move. And I think Kirk Cousins will do better than what you're thinking. He's better than what you're saying. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback.
After all these acquisitions, after everything that they've done this offseason, they moved from a 3-win team to a 5-win team.
No, I disagree.
I think that they're going to be in the 5 to 8 wins, but yeah, that's how it works.
Are you saying you wouldn't want, like, to me, it is same equivalent production that I expect, same amount of ability to take a hit as that I could get for Gardner Minshew, who signed for just under $6 million. I could get the same thing out of Joe Flacco and the Raiders. I
think you're discounting him, man.
Joe Flacco signed for $6 million. If you want to look at Carson Wentz only signed for the Vikings for $3 million.
Okay, now you're reaching.
Carson Wentz
sucks.
Carson Wentz has started for 5 separate teams over the past 5 years with how viable he is. But he's started. He's a startable quarterback.
So is Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins is only startable for just the Raiders because of the position that
that's ridiculous. Come on, man.
I don't know if I think Kirk Cousins is as good as Ralph thinks he is, but he's a lot better than what you think he is, Philip.
Think back to where he was before he went to Atlanta.
He
got hurt. How was he?
He was good.
Kirk Cousins will be benched.
He was really good.
If not able to even start out the year because Mendoza will beat him out.
No.
Within the first 4 games of the
Mendoza
season.
will sit.
Mark my words.
I think Mendoza sits.
I think that they want him to. I'll agree with you on that.
It's the right move.
That's what they've signaled with this. But they certainly had funny money to play around with.
Max Crosby. So Raven Kid says Max Crosby has knees that should put him in a retirement home. Good luck.
Well, you certainly put the Raven and Raven Kid in that comment.
I mean, come on, dude. Yeah. I mean, you're just pissed that he's not with your team because I guarantee you a few weeks ago you were singing his praises and you probably had a poster of him in a Speedo up on your wall over your bed. And now you're upset.
Raven Kid was probably just one day away from that tattoo appointment that another Raven guy has made with Max Crosby as a Falcon on his back.
Bitter Dolphin fan says Kirk Cousins doesn't have to worry about throwing downfield. They don't have any deep threats downfield receivers unless they draft one.
I'm telling you, $20 million, you're discounting that as like cheap for a quarterback. First of all, it's not. But second of all, if I could get, again, you look at Joe Flacco signed for $6 million. That's $14 million more. Do you know what $14 million can sign you for in a wide receiver?
Kubiak, and I'm doing what I'm doing, this rebuild that I'm doing
Christian
over there.
Kirk.
I am thrilled to have a guy that I know and that knows me. It makes more sense.
Mike Evans.
I like my first round picks and Trey Hendrickson, according to Ravens Kid.
Wasn't Mike Evans $20 million a year?
It was slotted at, but it's guaranteed only at like 1 year at $10 million.
Oh, okay.
So
I think the Raiders are going to be better than all you guys think. I really do.
Where do you have them making the playoffs?
I don't know. It's going to. We are talking the AFC, which is a very weak conference.
In the AFC West.
I mean, it has weak teams like the Ravens, like the Broncos, like the Patriots. I mean, they're weak, right? This is not the NFC.
So now we're just jumping the shark.
Now I'm just going after you guys.
Now
right?
we're just jumping the shark.
Well, as a Seahawks fan who just destroyed your team that came into the Super Bowl, I'm going after you.
You didn't
now.
touch our team because we didn't make it. Okay,
right? You could. I know you.
Our team lost our quarterback.
Is that? Oh yeah, that's right. I get it. I mean, right? Your quarterback couldn't even get past that. He couldn't take a step without cracking his bone. But anyway.
Speaking about rehabilitation, Puka Nacua willingly entered himself into rehab.
Let's be honest here. Willingly.
Yeah, I know.
For our audio only listeners, I put up the air quotes for you.
Yes, there. I think that this was what this was that the agent sat down with Puka and said, "Hey, funny guy. Let's take a moment here. You're a 5th round pick. You haven't made the money yet. You're a 5th round pick. You are up for life-altering generational wealth. Do you want to know how you mess it up? Exactly with what you've been doing. Do you want to know how you rebound and get it back? This will be the most beneficial, most profitable rehab stint anybody in the world has ever made. You need to do this. There's not a question of if. The only question of when is immediately. And there is no question about whether or not you have a choice in the matter. You are doing this or I will no longer represent you." That is how this conversation goes. Almost verbatim. Anybody disagree?
Probably.
100%. No, I agree. I mean, like this guy, he's not going to, no one's going to, you don't give this guy $40 million a year with what he's got going on in his head. This guy's scary.
Again, not a penny of it guaranteed, bare minimum.
This guy scares me. I mean, I don't want to use the word, but he may be nuts.
He may be legitimately nuts. Like we are looking at, and it's so hard because at certain levels, you I know I saw that comment. We'll get to it. You certainly verve in and out of where there's a serious tone to it, where it's a little funny. But keep in mind, Antonio Brown, that situation was a little funny at the beginning, where we were like, he's live streaming from a playoff win. That's kind of funny. Oh my goodness, how lovable is this guy? And then it got slightly worse. And what's the most concerning about Puka is that he's speed running that process to where it was like, oh, look at him at partying after the Super Bowl. How cute. And then it gets worse. And then it gets worse. And then it gets worse. Given the style of how he plays receiver, given how much in the mold of Cooper Kupp he is, to where that was a physically giving, same model, same type of receiver, same type of physicality. It's hard to take a look at Puka Nacua and the journey that he's currently on and not have valid concerns for his well-being beyond what's happening on the field.
It's like we said, he's speedrunning it. He went from I was texting you this a year ago, right? Maybe even more than a year ago now. And I said, is Puka already a top 3 wide receiver in the league?
Yeah.
And we both sat there and were like, yeah, he might even be more than top 3.
I think production wise, he is number 1. Like
Probably,
I think he's probably
pure stat wise.
And whenever you look at like those connections that you have between a quarterback and wide receiver, where it's like you need a first down, you need to get a first down, a touchdown, what have you. Not since Tom Brady and Gronk, I think, has there been a better connection that is like you got to have it there on the same page than as Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua.
And I think that in literally the span of less than a year, we've had him on live streams doing anti-Semitic jokes, and the only excuse he could offer was, I didn't know what I was doing, which just is not a valid excuse, especially because with the streamer that he was partnering with, that streamer is known to be controversial. Like, you need to be smart about this. Probably should have never been on the stream to begin with. And then you get accused of, and then you start tweeting about the refs, which you know is a huge no-no. And then you start doing, be accused of more anti-Semitic comments. Now you're allegedly biting people. Like, he's going straight off a cliff here.
This guy is like the Dodgers pitcher from a couple of years ago. Do you remember what's his name?
The one who's in Korea and is terrible now?
No, not Trevor Bauer.
Okay.
The Latin kid. The young kid. He was the
Puig? Yasuo Puig?
No, he was a pitcher. He was in the 20. Gosh, I cannot remember his name. Oh gosh.
And he calls himself a Dodger fan.
Yes, Julio Urias.
He was at the year before his payday. He had just come off the best year of his career. Not Trevor Bauer,
Series, right?
He closed off the World Series. He was unhittable. He was getting ready to get paid. And then he went and beat the crud out of his wife for not the first time, for the umpteenth time.
Yeah.
And he got blackballed, and he's done. He's out of the game. He never got paid. He's playing down in Mexico. He has ruined his career. Puka Nacua is on that exact path. If he doesn't get his stuff together, he will be a guy we won't even be mentioning in the next 2 years. If you're in fantasy, now this is getting stupid, but if we're in fantasy, draft him first. I'm not taking Puka because I don't know that he's going to make it through next year, to be honest with you. This guy might wind up doing or saying something so stupid that he wind up getting suspended God knows how many games, because that's the path he's going down. It's dangerous.
Where I will differ from you on that is that actually, funny enough, the place I trust him the most is on the football field. So,
but he has to get on the field, and if he keeps doing the things he's doing off the field, it's going to take him off.
I think if you can where I would worry is the moment until week 1, opening kickoff. If you can make it to that, I think he's set. He's in a team regiment. He's in a schedule. He doesn't have the allowance. He doesn't have the idle
stupid
time.
Stuff last year.
He was doing stupid stuff once they were eliminated. Like when it started happening was after they were eliminated from the playoff games. Yes, or
I thought he
was
did
the
podcast
session?
I think that streaming incident was during the regular season.
I thought so too.
I thought it was during the end of the regular season, but I thought it was during the.
I'd have to look it up, but even then, it was near the end. So you're not entirely wrong, Ralph. Like I think at the highly. I think I've been highlighting that with the ounce of
week
guarantee. Week 15. So we were, I think overall it's very
close.
I know.
The money's right.
That's what's so concerning about. Like, whenever you're on the precipice of getting paid, at least, I mean, I know you have differing opinions on
$40 million a year.
You have a difference on Trevor Bauer. At least Trevor Bauer got paid. Like that, like shows some awareness and some ability of like, oh, I'm about to lose out on the payday of my life.
He still got screwed by the MLB. He got blackballed. But
whatever,
anyway.
we can have differing opinions on that. But I'm saying, but if you have the ability to the lack of ability to go around and just realize that you are on the precipice of generational wealth.
Yeah.
We're not talking about $1 million. We're not even talking about Kirk Cousins money. Like he's getting double
JSN money.
JSN money, exactly. There we go.
And it's not going to happen. Because you know why? Because Bitter Dolphins fan says Puka and Tiger are in the same rehab facility.
I
think they are.
They're both rich enough to where they could potentially be in the same facility.
That's a great.
Well, Puka's living on borrowed money, but yes.
And Raven Kidd, probably the best thing he has said. Sam Darnold and JSN better, by far.
I find that to be like a home. Like I don't think that they're on the same level as Puka and Matthew Stafford.
What?
Quite like they're in the realm. They're like in the orbit.
Because you're going to say that Matthew Stafford is way above Sam Darnold. That's what you're saying, which I won't argue
Far
with
be it
you.
from
I
me
won't
that
argue
the
with you.
MVP of the league.
No, I agree. I am agreeing with you. I think Matthew Stafford's on a level on his own, but he's also at a point where he's about done. And I think this is probably his last year. And then, so if you've committed $40+ million a year to a guy that could go off the deep end at any moment, how comfortable are you feeling about that? Knowing now Stafford's gone, and I don't know who your next quarterback's going to be, but that's a little scary. That's a lot of money to tie up into a guy that may be nuts.
Fair enough.
I hate to use that word, but
well, at some point, like you are what you show. You know, the smoke signals only happen so often before I start to believe that there is a fire somewhere happening beneath it all. So we're talking about a guy who's, trying to at least go to rehab, if nothing else, to rehabilitate his image. When we come back, we'll talk about another guy who might be heading down a similar path, who has not received any punishment, but we'll talk about that on the other side, as well as some Laker talk that has come out that is concerning both to the team overall and their prospects. And of course, you can't see it, but I'm tapping my head. We're challenging what MLB has had in the past, and we are loving it. Or maybe I'm just talking about it for myself.
And the right value pick.
Yeah.
How could you not talk about that?
Yes, we need to make people money.
All right, guys, hang around for hour two. Hour 2 is going to be really good. We'll be back in about 4:30. I promise I won't bite anybody during that time.
Ooh.
Hey, Ralph, got another solar question for you.
Okay, but did you check out the Harmon Solar Podcast first?
The what?
The Harmon Solar Podcast. We put new episodes up twice a month that teach you all the things you ever wanted to learn about solar. We discuss things like how solar works, the roofing, sales process, demand management, everything solar.
Show like this needs some real smart thinkers, huh?
Well, yeah.
So you got some really great guests then, huh?
Almost every show.
Is it on Spotify?
Yep.
iTunes?
Yep. Just search it everywhere. It's the Harmon Solar Podcast. Go check it out at harmonsolar.com.
After you cook, are you staring at a pan full of grease? Pan dust turns hot, messy grease into dry, scoopable crumbs in seconds. Sprinkle, stir, let it set, wipe it out, done. Fewer towels, cleaner counters, and yes, happy drains. Want to see it work? Open YouTube and search Pan Dust Absorbs Grease, or go straight to our channel at Pan Dust Absorbs Grease. Watch a quick demo, hit subscribe, and share it with your bacon-obsessed friends. It works on cast iron, non-stick, baking sheets, even grill pans. It's plant-based, no harsh smell, and cleanup is weirdly satisfying. Make cleanup the easiest part of cooking. Pan Dust absorbs grease.
Game day, date night, or a midweek bite, make the Spot Neighborhood Grill your go-to. Sizzling burgers, crispy wings, street-style tacos, fresh salads, and shareables that disappear fast. Add an ice-cold draft or a classic cocktail, and you've got your new neighborhood favorite. Wall-to-wall TVs so you won't miss a play, a patio made for Arizona evenings, and that friendly local vibe you love. Find us at 2 Valley locations, Scottsdale at 18,251 North Pima Road, and Glendale on 5350 West Bell Road. Dine in, grab takeout, or order ahead. Find us at thespotgrill.com for the menu, hours, directions, and daily specials. Again, that's thespotgrill.com. The Spot Neighborhood Grill. Great food, great people.
Turn your backyard into the best seat in the house with Curbalite, the app-controlled landscape curve that wraps your trees in color. Pick any hue, run preset scenes, even schedule your lights right from your phone. And on party night, make the lights dance to the music. Choose the traditional round tree ring or the contemporary square. Both install in minutes and link together for bigger, brighter displays. Connect up to 12 sets to frame your whole space. Built for real weather, Curbalite is tested in extreme heat and cold, so your glow goes year-round. Level up your nights, game day, holidays, or just because. Get Curbalite now at Curbalite.com. That's Curbalite.com.
The Weekend Warriors, taking sports talk radio to a new dimension. Listen to Ralph, Neil, Phil, and guests break down the news.
Isn't that what everybody wants?
The games.
If you like the NFL, this is your shot.
The matchups.
This will be the last year I think we'll ever see one 3,000 strikeout player, much less two facing each other.
The Weekend Warriors.
We are known to chant as well.
You're listening to the Weekend Warrior Show. It's time for hour number 2.
It's the Weekend Warriors. Warriors, come on to play. Here we go.
This is insane.
All right, everybody. Hour number 2. It's about 11:05-ish on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. I'm Ralph Romano, engaged in this amazing conversation with my partners in crime. We've got the legendary Philip Amorine and Mr. Luke Wright. And this is the Weekend Warriors.
And if you want to be on the right side of history and
oh, no, you did not
and
say
renounce the Raiders signing signing Kirk Cousins, and when they could have gotten Darnell Mooney for a year at $3 million, when they could have gotten Kendrick Bourne for 2 years, $10 million, and instead chose Kirk Cousins, you too can comment on Facebook, YouTube, or X, wherever you find us streaming this live. And if you look at us in past highlight videos, whether that be on Instagram, because you will not find us streaming there live. I know this. You can also comment on why it would have been more prudent of the Raiders to sign Tyquan Thornton.
Oh my
more
gosh.
than signing Kirk Cousins. Thank you.
You're going to make me plant my flag.
I'm telling you, this is so, and the fact that you went off air.
I'm going to plant it right now.
Oh my God.
I'm
Don't
planning
you do
it.
it. Don't
I'm
you
planning
press
it.
that button, Ralph.
We do the flag thing. We know what we're getting ourselves into.
He is all about plant flagging.
Kirk Cousins will throw for 3,500 plus yards, and the Raiders will squeak into the playoffs next season.
I was unsure about the first one, but the second one is definitely dead.
I don't know if I believe either of those.
I know.
And I'm on the side of that this was a good signing.
Flag planted firmly.
You know, I don't often bet Bobby Q's, but I am tempted.
Well, we'll get there when we start.
This might be a Ruth Chris.
Yeah.
Ruth Chris.
Yeah.
No, Arrowhead Grill. We don't do Ruth Chris.
Rainforest Cafe. Here we come.
Rainforest Cafe.
Oh man. All right. Well, last thing before we leave the NFL, Rashee Rice was certainly not punished for his domestic abuse case that the NFL said that we looked into it. We didn't find it was punishable. Didn't reach the limit of punishable aggregation.
The bruising wasn't heavy enough.
It's truly insane to me. We just talked about a wide receiver who's spiraling.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
Truly.
I don't know what it is about wide receivers. I know they've always had a pen chance for drama. I know they've always kind of leaned towards a flair for the dramatic.
Terrell Owens, Chad Ochocinco.
But I feel like we're just reaching a whole new level of this generation of wide receivers, like starting to lose the plot a little bit. And I mean, like, dude, you just got suspended 6 games. You just got suspended 6 games because you were a moron. And honestly, I still believe that more than likely, if he hadn't left, he would have been suspended for even longer when they figured out what may or may not have caused the car accident crash. But I mean, what are we doing in NFL? Like, I wonder if NFL had like partnered with the Chiefs to be like, hey, we're going to give you 6 games for the crash thing. Because I believe these allegations had already been announced at roughly the same time. Because I think this has been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Or I might be getting stories mixed up here. But like, what are we doing?
There was thought that he would be suspended maybe the season, certainly given that he's a former punishee.
Yeah. He's a repeat offender.
He's a repeat offender. Yeah, look, and we go back to the similar conversation. I think it's concerning, especially if you're in a position to pay somebody. And the fact that this person has not been paid yet. This is a second rounder, lest we forget.
Yeah.
Rashee Rice has the protection of a number 1 wide receiver. Certainly does not have the mindset, given the fact that he is a constant trouble. And I hope that all of this, as a tangent to what we've been discussing, is certainly valuable to you, Ralph, being that you're on the field of I'm the one who wants to staunchly proclaim that we shouldn't pay JSN. These wide receivers are the reason why you pay JSN, because there's not a peep, not a single when the general manager, when Schneider puts his head on the pillow, He does not have to worry about waking up in the middle of the night that JSN all of a sudden got a DUI.
No, I agree.
In the middle of
this is the reason why you didn't pay JSN.
That's where I was going to go.
Because everyone else who you were worried about having to pay, you now don't have to worry about them getting paid. And on top of that,
George Pickens.
Oh, stop.
And on top of that,
I cannot wait for that announcement.
as we what just talked about with Puka, it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like this wasn't something that had slowly built out over his entire NFL career. It all happened within a 6-month period.
Yeah.
And so that is still the potential for JSN. Of course, again,
that would be shocking.
Just not who he is.
That would be so shocking.
Again, I agree. Like, I don't think that's who he was, but I don't think we thought that this is who Puka was. And boom, there we go. I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
I did not know enough about Rashee Rice coming out of college. I don't know if he had any off the field issues before this.
I don't know.
But I mean, even then, that all came out just all at once. Like, so I think this is the perfect reason why you only had to worry about 1 or 2 guys getting paid. You could have just waited the year.
Agree 100%. Now, I don't know what's going on with receivers, to your point. It seems like it's the history of receivers.
It's an epidemic.
I'm afraid that we have another one that might be coming into the league. And Mekhi Lemon, after seeing all those interviews he did, is he going to be the next guy that's going to come in and just, yeah, exactly, right? I don't know what it is about that position, but it seems to breed some of these guys that are just out of their minds.
You would think too. I mean, well, I wonder if it's the style of play.
Maybe.
I mean, Rashee Rice is more of a possession receiver. Puka certainly takes some heavy hits. I mean, he makes
He's
some
a bruiser.
fantastic. He makes some fantastic plays, but he certainly gives as well as he receives. JSN, I would say, is one of those. He's more in the mold of Jerry Rice, where he gets his stuff in stride. He'll slide. He'll run out of bounds. He doesn't make a lot of contact. Is how I would,
because of his size, he can't, right?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, he one good lick and he'd be out. It's funny too how we don't really often see this with like who I would associate more with CTE issues would be like middle linebackers or like regular just linebackers. You don't often see this with those types. And so it's odd that it comes from that position of the wide receiver. Maybe it's just the nature of the game of how you manifest your game with needing the ball, being open and being frustrated whenever you're not being thrown the ball and having no control over that, coinciding with the fact that you're getting hit every so often and asked to block on screens, or I don't know what it is, but it's a fascinating discussion, and only goes to add to my comment that you could still sign Juwan Jennings for $20 million if you were the Las Vegas Raiders.
And I think we all agree, Puka, we hope you get help. And we hope you can fix this because you're such a talent. It would be so much fun to watch you for the next 5 to 7 years in this league. And I have a feeling that's not going to happen if you don't get the help.
Yeah, take this to heart. Take this rehab to heart. Like I think everybody's like, it's the understandable next move. It's the expected next move. But it's also something that, just as much as whenever you look at these Alcoholics Anonymous, the first step is announcing that you have a problem.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't go past that first step. So take it in stride. Take it in and go forward.
I mean, mental illness is a real thing. I mean, so I hope he does I really do. I love watching that kid play.
He's
so much fun to watch.
Yes.
And I hope he really gets
and you can
the help
see a
he
lot of the
needs.
joy that he has in the game too.
Absolutely.
Moving away from the NFL and moving towards something to where you where are we going? Sorry,
Great
the NBA.
segue.
Yeah, moving away to another injured player. We're going to go to Luka Doncic, who has injured his hamstring, will be out for the rest of the regular season. Possibly will miss some of the postseason as well. Now, the Lakers have already clinched their postseason berth, meaning that they will not make the play-in. So they're
clinching something else now.
Yeah, well, they're clenching their hamstring. Yeah,
that trainer's clinching for his job.
Yeah, well, this is something that if you've been watching the Lakers, that seemingly has been disturbing Luka for some time, or he's been kind of applying heat and cold or whatever. Like it's been something that he's been working through and playing through. Whenever he's been questionable, it's been with this hamstring thing, that and maybe a back thing. But obviously, the hamstring has now led to a couple of discussions. I don't know where you necessarily want to go with this, Luke, but now he will be, he will come up just short of end of year awards eligibility. He will also means that the gelling that they've had, the Lakers, in the second half of the season, because prior to, I believe it was LeBron James and then Austin Reeves were both going through their own injury tenures, that they were ineligible, and that the trio of the three-headed monster had not been playing a lot, and they had really gelled and come together and become formulaic and in many people's eyes become a true contender, as not even just for the West, but also to win it all. Now this puts that in some jeopardy. So do you want to talk about the MVP and award eligibility, or do you want to talk about the team as a whole?
Let's start with award eligibility, because I think that won't take as long.
Fantastic.
Knock on wood. He sits at 64 games. He will not play another regular season game. For those of you who don't know, the threshold for season awards is 65 games. Now,
and also one other thing to note is that some people would say, oh, why doesn't he just go in for a tip off and then that'll count? There's also a minimum minutes restriction that happens in order to have a game count towards your availability towards those awards.
Yes.
I think it's like 10.
Something like that. And the thing is Chris Mannix tweeted this out. There is exceptions given. It's outstanding. I forgot the exact wording of what the exception is called, but you are able to file to an independent arbiter saying, hey, I had outstanding circumstances, extenuating circumstances. I think that I should still qualify for these awards.
Extraordinary circumstances challenge.
Thank you. He had to leave the continent, not the country, not the state, the continent.
The continent.
To witness the birth of his child in Europe.
Oh, and he witnessed.
And I think that he'll probably be granted that. I've seen a couple other people who agree that he'll probably be granted the exception.
With that, he missed 2 games.
Yes. And that alone would put him above that threshold. So I think he'll probably get the exception. I don't think the NBA will challenge it, because I think that they put this in not to nitpick, but to set a standard. And I don't think that they want to set a bad precedent of it, of, hey, you went to go see the birth of your child. That is an understandable reason to miss games. However,
far be it from the NBA. They don't want to be known as the anti-children.
So yeah, I think that he will end up being eligible for postseason for season awards. I love the requirements, and I think he'll be good for it. And I think this is like the poster child reason for why you still have those exceptions.
Well, him or Cade Cunningham. I think that this is really put into question this season in particular, because this is like the second season that it's been in effect. It's put into question because nobody's really going to be arguing that neither Cade Cunningham nor Luka Doncic would have been. Well, Luka Doncic would have been in potential of winning it. Same with Cade Cunningham had they played the entire season. But with the knowledge that they were out for the remainder of the season, everybody was understanding that they would no longer be a part of that race. However, what it does put in jeopardy is bookkeeping, historical logging of where these players had a fantastic season in the form of NBA all-star teams or NBA all NBA teams. Excuse me. I'm sorry. So I think that that's where we will start to see this rule being addressed specifically in the offseason, whether or not it will be up to Adam Silver himself, whether or not it will be up to some sort of committee, whether or not it will be some grace period of maybe even like a minutes quota, where it's like you have to either make 65 games, or if you played an average of 30 minutes per game over the entire span and whatever that volume is. I don't, off the top of my head, I wouldn't know. I guess it's what, 30 times 82.
I don't know if minutes would ever really matter, because if you're missing a full game, it doesn't impact your minutes per game at all.
Right. So, but whatever, just the volume. If you go for the volume of minutes, 30 times 82 or whatever that could possibly be, I think that might be something that they do to address it. But it's an interesting case study to where I think that it has highlighted and demanded the argument that perhaps, especially when this rule is infringing and encroaching on what the spirit of the rule was supposed to be, because it was supposed to disincentivize both tanking as well as load management. And I think it's done that to a greater extent than not. However, it is now hurting those for which this was not supposed to punish. It is punishing those that weren't intended to ever really be punished, because there should have been understandable exceptions to begin with.
I'm fully on board that what happened to Cade Cunningham is a tragedy.
Yeah.
And it's a tragedy,
especially to his lung.
Yeah. But I think that if you don't play, if you can't play 65 games, I'm fine with accepting the burden that people like Cade Cunningham aren't going to be able to be eligible for the awards. I am. It sucks. It is not.
I'm glad for you. The two healthy lungs sitting over there breathing and telling Cade Cunningham, man, sucks for you.
Sucks to be you. Like, and I do mean that. Like, I feel bad for those players who get hurt, but where, like, you have to set the line somewhere. You have to, because otherwise
you don't have to. They went an entire lifespan of the league not having to, and just leaving it to the discretion of the voters.
I would love to see how often the people who get these awards played more or less than 65 games. I'd be very curious about the statistics on that.
Yeah, I think there's one that qualifies. I don't think it was like Bill Walton. I do not think.
But but even then, like they should have always had some sort of requirement. You didn't have to worry about putting it in stone because players wanted to play the game. And to be fair, I don't think that this is necessarily players asking to be sat, but they need more incentives because, and this is going to lead to a whole nother thing here. The fact that postseason or season long, I don't know why I keep saying postseason, but season long awards tie into significant financial impacts for players, to me was a dumb idea from the second that they introduced it. The fact that a player, if they make an all NBA team, gets to make more on their contract than one who doesn't, to me, that should have always been up to the teams and the agents. We should not be letting media members dictate who does or doesn't get a bigger pay raise. Part of that is probably me just being a bitter Suns fan and seeing Devin Booker get disrespected for so many years.
Getting put in his place, yeah.
Get disrespected. Mm-hmm. And but like I think that's going to end up being the larger conversation here, because I think at the end of the day, the players do know, like Cade knows I was an MVP. Pistons fans know he was an MVP candidate, at least. Like I don't think that history of the game really is going to get wiped out. I think if you are a fan of that team, you will always remember when your players had those great years, regardless of if they were an all pro that year or not.
Not in 30 years, man. Not in 30 years. That's not how it's
And in 30 years, no one's going to care that he might have possibly been an MVP candidate.
What if Cade Cunningham eventually becomes the best player of all time? And it's like, oh, but except it's not. And these are the things upon which we argue and debate the greatest of all time or greatest of their era. Regardless, I think that's one side of it. I think that we can certainly discuss this more when the NBA certainly addresses it. You're saying
there's no incentives tied to Luka's contract, so it doesn't impact him.
No, but it's your contract itself becomes bigger, like worth more.
Yeah, like when you resign
in the NBA, when you become an all NBA player, you are eligible for the super deep.
No, I understand.
Yeah, for Luka, it doesn't matter.
Him specifically, this means nothing.
There. Yeah, but for someone like Cade Cunningham, he might lose out on a supermax because of it.
True, I understand.
So, Ralph, I'm curious, being the Laker fan that you are, how do you feel like this Luka injury impacts the Lakers as far as like the playoffs go?
Huge.
Because it's huge. See, I disagree simply because right now, hold on. If he comes back,
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I saw that look. That look was not. I agree.
But I was silent. Yeah. I let you continue.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Right now, they are currently the number 3 seed, and they are in a bitter race with the the Denver Nuggets,
and Houston too,
and Houston, to sort of jockey their position around. And there are some that would say that it would probably be more beneficial for the Lakers to meet wherever the Houston Rockets are in the playoffs. But they are jockeying around for a position for the 3 seed, 4 seed. Now they hold tiebreakers over both the Rockets and the Nuggets, but that only matters, of course, if they tie them. So with what 5 games to go against Dallas, Oklahoma City, Golden State, Phoenix, and Utah. That Utah is such a gift at the end there. That is such a carrot. The Phoenix Suns one, we don't know yet. But with that being said, I think that this Lakers team, specifically for the regular season and perhaps for the postseason, depending on their matchup, can weather the storm of losing one of the 3 players, of their 3 best players, of Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, in that order at this current age and time.
I don't know if I go that far, but
okay, whatever. I think that it can weather the storm of losing one of them simply because they are They are those little Russian dolls of just different versions of each other.
What?
And the fact that you lose one of them means that you still have two of them. As opposed to, I don't think that this team could survive and weather the storm of losing somebody who's as integral to the entirety of their defense and their defensive identity as Marcus Smart. Weirdly enough, he has become wildly important towards what they do defensively and how they have an option to be able to stop other teams' opposing guards and sometimes wings, depending on what is needed and required of him. Luka Doncic, I'm not saying that it doesn't affect their title chances. If he's unable to make the playoffs for some reason at whatsoever, of course, they're cooked. They're done. But I think certainly with the regular season, they are almost one of the best teams equipped to weather the storm of losing one of their top 3 players, as opposed to somebody else, such as Marcus Smart.
Well, you're saying with the 5 games they have left.
Certainly, yes.
I don't care about the 5 games they have. Wherever they fall within that mix, to me, that's not a big deal. Whether you're 3 or 5, I don't think it's a big deal for them. I really don't. But going into the playoff, if Luka doesn't get better, you're talking about the league's leading scorer. That's 33.5 points a night. That's 4.
He's had a tremendous year.
Right. I mean, this is the guy this year, right? I mean, everybody else is just feeding off him. And I think when you take that out of the mix, it really messes everything up. So this could be very bad. I don't know that he's going to be ready to go come the playoffs. This is a grade 2 hamstring strain, I think is what they said.
Yeah.
Which is not good. And he's been kind of struggling with it for a while. And I think it finally just went boom.
Yeah.
And if you were watching the game against Oklahoma, which was horrendous, I mean, what's his name? Austin Reeves was holding his side the entire game. He was in pain out there playing and still played really well. So there's some things that are kind of creeping up on them that to me, not very good. And you might have to sit even Austin Reeves a little bit these last 5 games. And you just fall where you fall. But I need these guys back for the playoffs. If Luka's not ready to go come playoff time, or if he's kind of ready to go and you use him in the first round and he gets hurt again, you're done. You almost, I hate to say it, I don't know if you can survive it though. I'd almost love to see him sit the first round, but I don't know that you can get past the first round with him sitting.
I think
you need him. It's 33 points a night, man.
Every single team wants to face the Rockets. And I think that the Rockets are the one team that you could beat without Luka, because
maybe
no team hates the Rockets quite like the Rockets hate themselves.
To your point, to me, the Lakers are so well-rounded. They really are. That they can survive without Luka in one series to a team like that.
Yes,
I agree with you.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I if nothing else, you'd kind of want him to be back for the series.
I love that you're both agreeing with your own with yourself, basically.
Yeah. I agree with him and myself.
Yeah, the guy's a smart guy. That Phillip guy. Yes, I think that it's kind of one of those things where you do wish. I can see your consternation where you wish that he could miss the first playoffs, but then also. You would want to use an easier series to ease him back into it and be like, this is how it's going to feel playing through pain.
I just really like the dynamic the Lakers have put together. The pieces. I love the pieces. I love the guys coming off the bench. I just think it feels really good. It works really well together. In the second half of the season, it's worked really well. They've been a very good competitive team. Now, when you watch that game against Oklahoma, couple things. Number one, I don't think Oklahoma would have missed a shot even if they would have covered their faces and went like this.
They were hot.
It was ridiculous. They didn't miss a single shot, it felt like.
They were feeling it.
Yeah. I mean, when a team's like that, I don't care who you are, you're not beating them. So that game did nothing for me. And then you take him out, you take the fact that Austin was holding his side the whole game, throw that game away. So I know the Lakers are better than that. I know in a real series, the Lakers would give Oklahoma City a run for their money. I'm not saying they can beat them, but I think they can give them a lot better run for their money. But I'm worried about Luka because hamstrings don't just magically get better.
They don't grow on trees.
I've gone through hamstring issues when I was an athlete, when I was younger. And man, let me tell you, they take time to come back from it. They hurt and they limit what you can do. And Luka needs to be able to move around and do what he can do. So it's a very concerning injury, big time. For a guy that really has been pretty healthy all year for the most part, it sucks the timing of this. It really is. It does suck. And I'm concerned about it as a Laker fan because I really feel this team is good enough to make a decent run. But we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I think
it's part of the game, man.
Yeah. It's one of those two that I think we were all.
It's like if Wemby goes down, the Spurs are probably done.
Knock on wood. I think we were all salivating at the opportunity to see the Lakers and how they would perform. As I have maintained. Yeah, I've maintained that I think that they're a tier below the top tier contenders. Yeah. But now it feels like injuries will just have to dictate it and have a say in who wins. And that's always the worst thing in sports. Yeah.
There is one more story I want to quickly pipe in here.
All right, pipe
away.
This came out late last night. Sham Sharania. The NBA is investigating the Bucks for their handling of the player participation policy.
Yeah.
The Milwaukee informed the league that it doesn't believe Antetokounmpo is ready and actually wants to play, sources said. Antetokounmpo hyperextended his left knee back in March. He told reporters, "I'm available to play, but I'm not in the game. I'm available to play today, right now. I'm available." This is becoming one of the weirdest, ugliest divorces that I can remember in sports history, without truly hitting that level of like personal hate. It's been so weird how much Giannis has just refused to be like, "Let me leave, get me out of here." Like he doesn't want to be the bad guy, but he needs to be the bad guy right now. Because I mean, it's just fully ridiculous right now. Like the NBA is having to investigate a team because you have a star player saying, "I can play and I want to play," and then you have the team saying he doesn't want to play, he's not ready. Like this is truly insane, and I don't know how you ever like actually move forward with this. And I want to see what the NBA does, because right now, this is like weirdly, I think this is a huge moment for Adam Silver to be able to step in and straight up be like, "Hey, you, the Bucks organization, are lying, and you are making your product, and by extension, our product, worse for the fans. Here's a $2 billion fine." Wow. It probably won't actually be that, but
$2 billion.
Something, whatever it is, will probably be cookies. Pocket change. But I really want to see Adam Silver like bring the hammer down here, just because I'm so tired of these organizations that.
Well, they've addressed anti-load management policies. Obviously, we just talked about the 65 game management rule. There should be efforts against anti-tanking. Like this will be the spear point of addressing tanking measurements in its entirety. Like make the Bucks the example, make them the people that you put at the front of the line of saying, "Look, if you have a player who says he's healthy, who feels like he can play, and and he has doctors that say that he can play, you need to let him play." Like your evaluation, your desire for a trade. If you felt so strongly that you wanted to trade him, then you had ample time with which to trade him. Yes. You should certainly. These at the end of the day, these are humans. These are people that are desiring, and like you said, it is a slap in the face to the season ticket holders, who are not expected to give back any sort of money, are not expected to get repaid back for having players less than Giannis Antetokounmpo suiting up and going out onto the court. There is no repayment for those. They are not being made whole. So if you are expecting the same amount of payment, you're expecting the same amount of compensation for services not rendered in the form of Giannis Antetokounmpo, then you need to be punished. You need to be punished accordingly.
We did it last week, and I'll say it again this week. Credit to the NBA for at least trying to go after these things.
Yes.
So I'll give them that. I'm not a big fan of how the NBA runs its league, but I do appreciate that they are trying. They've recognized the problem. They've admitted the problem, and they are trying to do something about it.
Yep.
Don't know what the right answer is. We can argue that for hours, but at least they are trying to do something.
Absolutely.
Dominic's on Facebook says Nuggets. He lives in kind of in Denver. And then he's saying, similar to the Memorial Day Massacre, Lakers versus Celtics game 1. Yeah. So when you talk about that Lakers OKC
43 game.
Again, before your time, but you remember the game probably. Lakers and Celtics game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Celtics just destroyed the Lakers in game 1. And the Lakers came back and won the series. So,
good for them. Good for them.
I think I remember that. Was that when Paul Revere drove through the Laker girls and said, "One if by land, two if by sea"? Or
one if by magic, two if by Kareem is what it was.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
This was those Lakers. Hey, so let's switch gears and let's go into the base and the MLB. There's a lot we could talk about, but
I don't think we have time for that transition. I challenge.
Let's talk about this.
This is the new sports movement.
They should do this.
Yeah. Oh, Yeah, if you have a super challenge, you have to rub your tummy
and a super challenge.
And yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
I like that.
This is a challenge with vitriol.
So far in the season's what, a week old?
About
a week old, a little bit over a week old. 352 challenges so far.
Love it.
195 overturned. 55%.
Thank you. And I was trying to do the quick mental math. I was like, I can't do it.
55%.
And to be clear, that number, if you really wanted to like go deep into the numbers, should be higher. The only reason why the amount of challenges are high are the people in the 9th inning who have their challenges still. And so they're just blowing it because they don't want to end the game with a challenge in their pocket, even though they know that it's probably a correct call. So that number, like from a like true metric standpoint, is actually probably even higher.
Yeah. And I see a lot of situations early on in the game where they want to, but they don't.
Yeah.
And where they would have, and it would have gotten overturned. You can see it. It's clear.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the improved Angel Hernandez.
Yes, baby.
There is a new Angel Hernandez.
My favorite thing is I don't think he's new. Like, he's always been terrible.
Okay.
But he's been waiting.
He was just Angel Hernandez has just always been so much more terrible that CB always kind of got to
Buckner.
Buckner. He always kind of got to like,
you got bucked.
Yeah, he was always like safe under the shadow, but anybody who watched baseball, I think, knew he was like just as bad.
Yeah. But so the league, 55%. Buckner.
You have the percentage on
77.8% overturned on CB Buckner.
Woo!
He's so bad. Did you see the first base call?
I didn't see that one.
It is egregious.
He said that somebody didn't touch the bag.
Okay.
Just straight. And it was the most obvious, clear cut, middle of the
Stomping
plate.
on first base.
Yeah. Like it was the most obvious thing. And I think some people were saying that like if you zoomed out, it looked like CB wasn't even actually looking at the bag when he made the call, and that he was like looking at the players. And it's so bad. And I hope that this is the last year of CB Buckner.
Well, okay. Here's the beautiful thing about this. This is public shame and humiliation. For so long, for the entirety of MLB's existence, nearly, these referees and umpires, they have not been what they need to be, which there is accountability in the NFL. I think that they are probably the best referees in all of sports, simply because they, for the most part, I know as a fan, you mostly have, there's not a referee in the NFL that I have a name recognition of currently, except for the one biceps guy. I forget his name. Hockley. Yeah, that guy's jacked, but that's the only reason why I know him. Because there's an accountability. The better you ref, the more games you get to play. The only reason why in the NBA, I'd say second best, is because the one guy has a beef with Chris Paul and the players just hate him. I forget his name, but he has a name recognition status. Once you say it, I'll remember. But the thing I like about the thing I hate about from the NBA down is this
Scott Foster.
Scott Foster, thank you. Yes, the name recognition with the referees is simply because there's this self-entitlement, this arrogance that for some reason, when I pay good money to go get a hot dog and go get some peanuts and Cracker Jacks, oh, you know who I came to see was it was Buckin' CB Buckner. What are you talking about? Like, I did not come here to see you get all puff up your chest, your padded out chest, to see you throw somebody out, a player who happened to throw a bat that happened to bounce in your way, who happened to question something to their manager, and you thought it was them questioning you, so you throw them out. For so often, they have this delusion of grandeur that they are the arbiter of truth and justice in the world, and that their contribution to society at large is that they can throw out players with aplomb, that they can somehow find a way to justify the wrongs in this world by taking out the very players and enjoyment and entertainment product by lessening it by their own interference in the game itself. Good on MLB for having a system that can have people who are better at their job than they are at theirs with the players. What I find to be fascinating is the success rate of the players, because managers aren't able to call this on large. It's players, it's pitchers, and catchers. Yes, catchers.
Batter, catcher, pitcher.
or pitcher.
Okay, catchers, I believe last I saw are the only ones above 50% for overturn rate.
And so I'm sure it will weather the storm. But with how much accuracy that they do have, like the fact that this is not in the tens, the fact like that there is a responsibility that sometimes, I mean, you see this in the NBA most egregiously, where they're saying, "Oh, come on, that was a call." Where if you actually gave the NBA players a chance of a challenge system all their own, that wasn't on the coach, that wasn't on the coaching team, that was on their own, that they actually had some recommendation for that, there was a negative association with them challenging errantly, I think that they would be a little bit more honest about it. But for the players, the fact that they're as right as often as they are, good is public shaming. Get the bad refs out of here. Get them out of here who have no other choice and alternative than just feeling like they were running the sport themselves, that you could earn my ball in strike zone. Get out of here.
I agree with you 100%. You have to relegate these guys
Yes.
down. 100%. And you already hear, and it's funny, if you watch a lot of baseball, which I do, you already hear the announcers starting to say it. They're waiting for that one guy to go off.
Because you can see it build.
They're
so
getting,
good.
Especially
remember
in
what
CB
I
Buckner.
said before the season started? We're going to have an umpire that's going to lose his crap one day, and he's going to walk away.
It's going to be CB
I'm
Buckner.
still going to admit that's going to happen.
And they should. Public shaming is good if they are bad
They've
at their jobs.
called it public shaming now. It's what they're saying.
Good.
They're in public embarrassment and public shaming now is what they're tagging the system as. And it is. It's 100%. And I can already see the umpires going, this has got to stop. This is ridiculous. You're micromanaging us and you're putting us out there in the front of the public to make us look bad. This has to go away. There's going to be that argument that's going to come up. I guarantee you. It will.
But if you are self-assured and dare I say, man enough to be humble to some degree to say, you know what, I got it wrong. I'm glad that there's a way that it can take it out of my hands and say, you know what, I'm glad that we can remedy this.
Yeah.
You should be able to approach that in a mature fashion and not just be upset to say, oh, I hate that there's something that changes the way that we've done it for hundreds of years. Baloney. Get out of here.
Wait for the meltdown.
And it's
going to be so good.
And you know it's coming. It is an entertainment product all itself.
It
you
is.
can tell that the fans are in the stadium going, just wait for it, wait for it, let's see it.
Whoa! Have you seen the cheering?
It's
Oh my
outrageously
God.
good. It's so
crazy.
fun.
Imagine if you're the umpire.
Yeah, and you're
You're
just
going to
like,
lose your crap.
So good.
It's going to happen.
I think of it as a positive. If I was an umpire and you're wrong for the home plate or for the home team, great. Then it's like, hey, I was wrong. You got what you wanted.
It's a
Good.
game within the game.
Yeah.
You just
It
said it.
is. It is a strategy. It's fantastic.
I just hope no umpires are carrying because we might just see.
Yeah.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Just a little bit of devil's advocate.
All right.
Just a little bit.
Not for CB Buckner. What I'm about to say doesn't apply to him.
Everybody else who's not as
For
egregious.
all the other umpires, because I don't know any of their names, which is a good thing in
Yes,
this
it's
case.
a good thing. Yeah.
I do think there should be a little bit of grace for the umpires who are missing the calls by literally a quarter of an inch.
I agree with you that there should be a percentage allowed where it's like, hey, you know what? They missed it by like 5%.
It's physically impossible for a human being.
The seam
in
of
that
the baseball
position.
crested the inside of the
But I don't think
zone.
anyone poo-poos that. I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
I
the
don't-
ones that are like this.
Yeah.
For the most part, we haven't really gotten there yet, but there have been like a couple that I've seen where it's like literally like a tenth of an inch off.
Yes.
And people are like going like, I do love the crowd getting into it and going
It's
insane.
great. It's great entertainment.
But there are just like a few times where it's like, yeah, like, but the umpire can't be blamed for that. Like, there's just no way.
There's a few of them that I think was Will Smith called it on one. Ball was right down the middle.
Yeah.
Literally right down the
And
middle.
those are the ones
It was
that,
like, dude, are you kidding?
that if I'm the crowd, I'm going even harder on.
And it's great. I think it's both great as an entertainment product for the fan. Overall, it's been a smashing success.
Yes.
But it is something that where it as an entertainment facet, yeah, it's smashing, Bevins. No, it's great as an entertainment product
It
for
is.
the fans. It gives you something to cheer. It's akin to like a field goal in football, where like you're not entirely sure that it's going to go your way, but if it does, victory lap. You know, it's fantastic. That really has put some sort of energy into the game that I not that has been lacking in recent years, but it's something new. So, but also, sorry, one last little thing. I think it's an inserted strategy into a game that demands it. Like where you talked about Will Smith, where it's right down the middle. That's a teaching moment for the manager to be like, hey, if you're going to do it, I need you to be right. Like that, it can't be that blatant. I need it to be closer. Like you have to be responsible. We only get so many of these.
The catchers have been good.
Yeah.
A game yesterday, Will Smith got one of those millimeter ones. He's catching. He thinks it's a strike, calls it a ball. He challenges it. It's a strike by a hair.
Yeah.
He's just thinking that's right. And he's feeling good about it. And they're even saying that some of these catchers now have more pressure on them in the game where they really got to be focused on this now on top of everything else.
That explains
it makes it harder for them. No, but really it does. It makes
it does.
It's another aspect of the game the catchers have to take on.
Yeah.
Right. So it does make it harder for them. Batters are at 52% success rate.
That's pretty good.
Right now.
Okay, so it's gone up.
They have it as batters and fielders. So batters are 52%. Fielders would be a catcher or a pitcher.
Okay.
And they have them as a 58% success rate.
And I think most of that is the catcher
Agreed.
bringing that up.
Pitcher's probably about a 1% success rate. I've seen a couple pitchers do it and it's terribly wrong.
The one when I looked at the stat, and this was several days ago, it had pitchers separated, and I think theirs was at like 44% or something like that.
It's very bad for pitchers. They should not be allowed to call it.
Yeah.
At all.
Well,
So, on the text line, just to catch up real quick. So, Bitter Dolphin fan, damn Dortmund won. I told you they were going to win, Rich. I don't know why we're fighting about this. Dominic's on there. It says he lives in Colorado Springs. He says Rockies. Someone has to root for the Rockies.
Hey, they made mincemeat of
Speaking of
the
Rockies.
who was it? The Rays or the Marlins?
They beat the Blue Jays 2 out of 3 in Toronto.
Good. You throw out 2 guesses and they were both wrong.
Right.
Phillip.
2 out of 3. They went into Toronto and beat the Blue Jays. I was so upset.
Good for them.
You were so
I felt
upset.
bad. I felt bad for the Blue Jays.
Oh my God.
I did. I felt bad. The Rockies actually have not played bad baseball to start the season.
Those are their
Surprisingly.
only 2 wins.
No, they have 3. Aren't they 3 and 5?
Nope, they're 2 and 5. I'm looking at it right now.
I'll take them against the Blue Jays. If you just beat the Blue Jays all year, that makes me happy.
They have just as many wins as the Padres.
Right now, they're leading
Padres
the Blue
are bad.
Jays at the top of the third, 1-0.
Are they?
I'm serious.
No, the White Sox are,
Yeah, the White Sox. Yeah.
not the Rockies.
Yeah, we're talking Rockies.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Do you want to just
Are you
sit
here?
out the rest of the show here?
Let me tell you that
Load management.
Yeah,
Load.
that emotion that I had for the challenge system has just taken it out of me. I've been it's been beautiful. I've been having on replay just in the back the challenge system. It's so good.
It's been awesome. And here's what hasn't been awesome. So there was a game this week against the White Sox visiting the Marlins in Miami.
Yes.
In that beautiful stadium that they have. Total attendance, 6,500 people. In the first week of the season, 6,500 people. That's insane.
It's just, you know what's even crazier? They're winning. They're 5-2. They're
The
off
Marlins,
to they're off to a
start.
good start.
6,500. They had 6,000 in the first game of the series, 6,600 in the second game, 6,500 in the third game.
And just to be clear, Tampa Bay is the team that's playing somewhere else because of the hurricane.
Yes,
Correct?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Miami is still in their current.
Yeah, they're in Lone Depot Stadium. or
Okay.
whatever it
Okay.
is, yeah.
Yeah. It blows my mind. You have a team that's winning and you can't get 10,000 people to show up for your game.
Well, the thing about Miami is that they will so quickly hit that eject button that it's hard to build brand loyalty, team loyalty when the organization has none to you, the fan. Like the greatest actionable thing that you have as a fan to move the team in a direction that you see fit. We saw this with the Dodgers very well. Like that's what led to the sale in great part. Was your wallet, was your ability to buy a ticket and spend the money at the ballpark. You can pay with your wallet, with your dollar. And that is a vote of confidence. That is a vote of support. That is a vote of patronage. And Miami Marlins ownership has not warranted that support from their
They've
fans.
lost their fans.
Yes. And
they've
I can't
completely
blame them.
lost their fan base.
Yes.
I can't blame them.
So is it time? No, so that's a good point. So that's kind of what I want to get into is they've lost their fan base, right? They don't keep players. They get rid of them when it's time to pay them.
As soon as they're up for a payday.
We talk about that. Oh, this team's ruining baseball. That team's ruining baseball. The Marlins are a typical example of an ownership that's ruining the sport.
Yes.
You're in a city that is a big sports city that is highly Latin, right? Which Latin people love baseball. It's a very popular sport in Latin America. It's a top sport, but they're not coming out to see the Marlins because they don't trust ownership, right?
Yeah.
They've ruined that. So you don't have the power to, but is it time to remove ownership? Or does that team need to get out of that market, go to another market and try to reboot and see if they can ruin that market too? I mean, you kind of look at it that way, right? For me, that guy has no right, that ownership group has no right owning that team if they're not going to commit to that team in that city that loves that sport and wants to love that team, but they can't because it's be like, I'm going to put everything in. We're 5-2. We're a great start. I'm going to get all into this because it's going to fall apart. They're going to, I can see them trading a top player by the break just because they don't want to pay him next year. I mean, they're that ownership group.
Bye, Sandy. Bye.
Get rid of ownership, right?
Like, well, and if I'm a fan, that's immediately what I'm like. Why am I going to buy Alcantara jersey if I know he's going to be gone within the next year or two?
Absolutely.
Why am I going to buy a hot dog if I know that I'm just going to be miserable and sad in the second half of the season?
Yeah.
Why am I even going to go? Because, and this is kind of like what you were alluding to, leaving Miami is not going to help. It's just not. You have to get
bad ownership is bad ownership.
Yes, you have to get rid of the problem at the root, the cause, and that's your owner.
Again, look at the Dodgers. I would say the Dodgers had tons of troubles during the oh my gosh, what's his name? McCourt era. And even now, you look at where are the biggest problems that the Dodgers face? It is in the parking lot. He was supposed to make this gondola to make it easier to get up there, and
it's the comas.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's always the comas.
You see bad ownership, and you see what a difference, what a absolute flip of the coin, bad ownership to good ownership can do for a brand such as the Dodgers, who were down in the dumps, were brand and legacy riddled by what a bad ownership was being done to them, and with the flip of a coin and better management, better ownership, better organizational structure. With that, you can see how the Dodgers are now probably the most valuable piece of sports franchise in MLB. I mean, it's either them or the Yankees, and it certainly was not a contest back during the McCourt era.
Right. No, I agree. And it goes back to the argument of, the Dodgers are ruining baseball. No, owners like this are ruining baseball because that Miami team, they've been, even to go back, when they were the Florida Marlins, they had all these great teams that won World Series, and the next year they'd gut them. Why would you do that? Because you don't want to spend the money, right? That's just ridiculous. I know we made fun of the Brewers during the year, and we still get comments on that one. People just can't let that one go.
Which is funny. Pancake.
But these smaller market teams, and I don't even consider Miami a small market. That's a good sized market that is ready to support a team, but ownership is just so bad. They won't allow them to come and support. They don't trust them. You've got to get MLB has got to be able to do something about that kind of ownership.
It's because it's perpetual bad ownership. It's part of why the Utah Jazz actually still sell out pretty well, even though they have been a tanking team for as long as they have been. For like 3 seasons, they've just continued to progress worse and worse. But they still get the support and patronage of their fans because their fans know that when they're good, they are good. They technically at least have a plan. Miami Marlins, you know what the plan is. They have a plan too. The plan is to build up young, cheap talent, and as soon as they are up, as soon as they are eligible to be up for extension, put them on the trade block. And it's like we've seen this movie at least three times now. Why are we going to support this? You can only put the banana in the tailpipe so many times before I stop starting the car.
I agree. It's just this sickens me to see this. So. Anyway, I wanted to talk about we have a couple minutes left. The hot starts. Have you looked? Any surprises for me? Not really the hot starts, even though the Marlins are a surprise for me. I expected the Braves to do what they're doing. I expected the Brewers to do what they're doing. For me, it's the slow starts of teams like the Padres, 2-5. I didn't expect that. The Cubs, even the Mets, who haven't looked that good. I'm kind of surprised by some of the slow starts more than I am by the hot starts.
Yeah, the Yankees aren't that surprising, but on the flip side of the coin, you see the Giants, who had just one of the historically worst offensive outings in MLB history against the Yankees, and I don't think the Yankees are that strong defensively. So you're right. Like I think, especially given that the Giants, they seem to have rebounded. Like it could very well just be a bad matchup against the Yankees. Could just be opening day jitters. I don't know what it is. So the Giants were a team that specifically in the opening week and opening days surprised me. They seem to turn about ship with new management. I mean, the only thing about the Giants that surprises me is that I worry their coach comes from college and he's already pulled the I was bad during the first 3 games. It's like, buddy, yeah, you got 182 of these games. You can't start yelling out at the team and start being like, we lost against the Yankees. We lost it all, buddy. You lost a battle. You need to worry about the war. So that was my surprise team in these early goings, especially for how bad they performed early on. Luke,
for me, it was probably between the Tigers and also the team itself. I don't know if I'd say is off to a slow start, but I am surprised at just how bad of a start Cal Raleigh's getting off to. As an individual player.
Tell me, I'm curious on that
so
point.
Excited
I know. Yeah. Ralph, do you think that there's a possible tension and break in the one of the World Baseball Classic fallouts?
Sorry. Go ahead.
It's a sad moment where Cal Raleigh would not shake his teammate's hand when they met in the World Baseball Classic. He was like, hey, man, that's good for you.
That's staged. That's nothing. That's a nothing burger.
That's a nothing.
That's a nothing burger.
I don't know if it's staged, but I do.
The guy said in multiple languages, Ralph, that he was pissed about it.
I don't think that's why he's off. I don't think him getting because I mean, he wasn't good throughout the World Baseball Classic either, was he?
Cal Raleigh? No.
Will Smith completely outplayed him, which is why they finally pulled him.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if this is just, he put his heart and soul into last year and now he's going to go off the rails. Or
having a year like he had last year, it was virtually out of the blue.
It's an aberration.
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
To do that a second year in a row is not an easy thing. And so we don't know how good or how bad or how average Cal Raleigh really is yet. I've always said this, not really impressed with him as a defensive catcher. I never have been.
Certainly not.
He's very mediocre in my opinion. I don't think he's very good at framing and doing a couple other things. I think he's all right. But his bat was ridiculous last year, especially the power in his bat. But it came out of really virtually nowhere to do what he did. I don't know that he can do it again. It could have just been a 1-year thing and that's done and he's back to being the average player again. It's very possible.
But I mean, even the 2 years before last year, he put up 30 home runs, 75 RBIs, 232 average.
Good numbers.
Yeah, and I mean,
except for his average.
Yeah, his average isn't great, but I mean, even now he's batting 138.
Yeah.
No home runs.
Right. But what made him last year, if you take that 50-something home runs and bring it down to the 28 to 30 range, we're not having the same conversation about 60. We're not having that same conversation about Cal Raleigh next year because his average sucked last year. I think what did he bat? 230, 240?
247.
Okay. It's a great average, not a great average. It's a below average average.
Yeah.
Below average. Right. Like I said, defensively as a catcher, he's okay. He's average. So the 60 plus home runs is what made him. Ooh. You take that away, what is he? Well, an average guy.
But I mean,
he's faced up against some stout lineups here in the Milwaukee Brewers lineup. St. Louis is no slouch.
The Angels.
Tampa Bay Rays have not played the Angels. They're currently
the Mariners. Talking about Cal Raleigh, aren't we?
Yeah, Tampa Bay.
He's a Mariner, dude.
Oh my gosh, I keep getting it all.
Okay, so Philip, we're almost at the end of the show. You just close your eyes, put your head down on your desk.
Oh my god.
Just
they've played Cleveland, they've played the Yankees, they played the Angels. He was 0 for 4 against the Angels last night.
Get my fish confused.
And the Angels have come back to earth. I mean, they're being the Angels again, which we knew that was going to happen. So no, it's I'm not surprised at what we're totally seeing with Cal Raleigh because I'm not on that train that he's this outrageously great player.
But I mean, he's not even doing average.
Do more than 1 year.
What I'm saying.
What do I say about JSN? Do it more than 1 year.
No, I get that. But I mean, he's not even average right now.
He's below average.
Yeah, this is even worse than below average. I mean, this is atrocious.
He's 29 years old. He did it in an age 28 season. I think, for most quarterbacks is how I usually judge production is
that's how you judge MLB production.
Yes. You take out the best and the worst year that they've had, and somewhere in the middle is what they are. You take out the best year that Cal Raleigh's had. I mean, the worst year is probably not even that substantial. He was just an average guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
he has 153 career home runs, and he hit 60 of them last year.
And they've already gotten value on that contract they signed. He's extended for forever. And so the fact that you're able to get an MVP season out of him at old contract was a value. So they've already found value there. I don't know that I'm kind of with you. I don't know that he's necessarily going to.
And we'll see. It's early.
No, I mean, like he's had 4 full years of playing. His worst year was 211, 27 home runs, 63 RBIs.
He's playing worse than that.
He only played 120 games that year. But yeah, that's just something I'm kind of looking eye out. Again, I'm not expecting him to hit 60 and bat 247 like he did last year, but I'm still expecting better than 138 and 0.
Yes.
Agreed. Well, I mean, again, we're jumping the gun, but
also the Red Sox being as awful as they are, this is somewhat surprising.
They're starting slow.
Yeah.
But to me, the Padres are the biggest kind of question mark. I'm like, 2-5, really?
Well, remember, they changed out management. I mean, maybe
they talk a lot of smack, like they're going to be this great team. 2-5.
They continue on this way, they'll be an interesting seller during the trade deadline.
That's exactly what's probably going to happen if they keep this up.
Yeah.
Again, we're only 7 days in, guys. So, but anyway, all right, everybody, that's our show. Told you it'd be great. We got through it.
We got through
it.
We even
mostly
talked about
good takes coming from this side, and there was some questionable stuff over here.
Kirk Cousins making the playoffs is such a bold take.
Bold's one word for it.
Thanks for spending part of your weekend with us. We'll see you again, same bat time, same bat channel next